Crumbley's recommendation was that Ethan receive outside counseling as soon as possible today, if possible, meaning the 30th. And the response to that was, we can't take him anywhere today. We have to go back to work.
And who said that?
Mrs. Crumbley said that. Yes.
Back to
more chilling testimony in the trial of Jennifer Crumbley, the mother of the Oxford school shooter. For the first time, we are hearing from the former school dean, who today revealed why he did not see a threat when meeting with the shooter and his parents.
The one person who's been following this right from the beginning is Fox News' Charlie Langton. He joins us live. He's been in court all day long. Charlie, what were the highlights today of this really monumental case in so many ways?
Yeah, there's so many ways this is a monumental case, but I think today was the monumental testimony. Two very important witnesses. First witness was Jennifer Crumbley herself, actually a video of her in the back of the sheriff vehicle on the day of the shooting. And she knew she was probably being recorded, so that will come up. She basically said, I don't know what happened. Everything was normal when the shooter went to school in the morning, and she called the shooter a mellow kid. I'm going to get more into that at 6 o'clock, but I definitely want to focus here. The other testimony, the dean of students for the Oxford High School. He basically said that the shooter, in his opinion, was not a threat. Now, I'll put it in context, but take a look at the testimony today. Here it is.
At no point in time did you believe that Mrs. Crumbley's son posed a threat to the school?
He did not pose a threat to the school, no.
Somewhat of a shock, the Oxford High School's dean of students testifying on the fourth day of Jennifer Crumbley's manslaughter trial.
Did you search the backpack yourself?
I did not. It wasn't necessary or rise to the occasion that I do that, because I didn't have any reasonable suspicion to do that.
And then making a joke when he picked up the shooter's backpack that contained the murder weapon.
Did you ever make the observation about how heavy the bag seemed?
I made a joke to Miss Morgan at how easily she picked it up and then handed it to me and my arm dropped. And so it was more of a joke of how strong she was compared to handing it off to me. But most teenagers are watching violent movies, video games, pre-recorded on YouTube. It doesn't rise to the occasion where you would be concerned.
And in fact, guns were commonplace within the Oxford High School community.
It wouldn't be uncommon to see guns drawn on assignments or papers. Oftentimes there are certain books or part of the curriculum, and students end up drawing guns to represent stuff in the stories.
In fact, a little bit more about the guns. Actually, in Oxford High School, during the start of hunting season, they actually start school an hour later because many of the students go hunting in the early mornings. All right, that's about guns. We'll get into a little bit more of that. But I also want to focus on the perspective from the prosecutor. The prosecutor was very clear when the prosecutor asked the dean of students, did you know that just 4 days before the shooting, the parents bought the shooter a gun? And of course, he said no. And then he was asked, would that have made a difference in your opinion about taking the shooter out of school? And he said, absolutely. All right, so that's the dean of students. Now, we will go back to court tomorrow for day 5, but I am told that the prosecutor likely will rest her case this week. I'm live outside the courthouse. I'll send it back to you.
Yeah, Charlie, build a picture here for us in terms of what the defense is trying to do here. Yesterday, a school counselor is saying he didn't find an issue with the shooter being released back to class. Today, the dean saying he didn't find it alarming to see a gun drawing. Are they trying to prove that there were not really any red flags despite him writing a call for help next to the picture of the gun?
Yes. The fact that a lot of kids, according to the testimony today, kids draw pictures of guns. Kids watch video games. They watch violent video games. They actually watch movies. In fact, the dean of students, who is in charge of discipline, said none of those things alone would be enough to kick the shooter out of school. And even the dean of students actually picked up the backpack with the murder weapon in it, felt it was a little heavy, instead made a joke out of it. Now again, the picture that the defense is trying to show here is that there wasn't anything outstanding that would say, that's the shooter that would likely shoot and kill students. Again, prosecutor has a totally different view, obviously, that says that you have to take all the accumulation of these events and you put them together, and the parents who have the most control over this kid should have known. We're going to get into what Jennifer Crumbley said. Her own words coming up at 6. Don't want to miss that.
Yeah, Charlie Langton is an important case, one that you're following closely. We'll be checking in back with you in less than an hour here. Thanks for that live report.